When I walked in, I came up with a lot of apprehensions. I don't know why myself took years to make the decision, but I'm happy I made it. I'm super duper happy. And as I said, I've already started sharing my story with a lot of people.
On this channel, we've made a lot of videos on hearing aids and how to choose the right one based on your hearing loss, lifestyle, and budget. But this video is different because today, I'm not going to be the one who's talking. Today we have Mahinder Ratiji, who's a senior executive working in Microsoft Hyderabad, who came to Synva with 3 major problems.
I'm generally a person who watches late night news and all this stuff. So when I'm playing my volume at a very high device and my family's sleeping around in other bedrooms, they're like, Dad, come on, we have to go to work next day or we have to go to school. That's very embarrassing. We used to get scared of you because your voice was louder, so we think. With my directs, a lot of people reporting to me, they were like scared because my pitch was a little louder. And I think more important to me is at the professional world, right? In a lot of roundtables, meeting, conference rooms, a lot of times I used to do guests, looking at the lip syncing, trying to understand or then it's a conversation, trying to see what it is that they're talking about. And sometimes it was a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because you're answering something which may not necessarily be, and especially if it's a big conference hall, some conference rooms, and you're talking to someone sitting a little away from you. Either you're not responding or you're asking again would put you it shakes your confidence. My wife used to complain, why are you screaming? Which will be like, why are you screaming that?
Now, despite all these real lifestyle problems affecting his personal and professional life, it still took him a very long time to take a step forward in his hearing care journey. And so we asked him, what held him back?
It's just primarily because of the social stigma, "Arey bahra hai kya?" and all that comment in India. Typically, people they're not very sensitive. They just make comments. The whole stigma of wearing a hearing device at this age and going in a corporate world and among the colleagues was that kind of, it was a lot of stuff. I looked at the devices and I was like, yeah, I have to wear this, pehenna padega kya? I was not in a comfortable state because you really don't want to show up your weaknesses to outside world. I've been to other places, I'll be very honest. I think one of the things was that the stigma, what they put it across, is if you wear this, it will be visible, you have to wear the smaller ones, and so you buy higher one. I think that also was a factor which was pushing me away, saying that if the person who's actually selling the device is not you, isn't they themselves are discouraging you from taking a device and trying to sell you a smaller one or an in-canal, in-cavity one. That is like, okay, if the people who are selling the product itself are telling me that, people will not observe, people will not notice. That also was, I was already struggling with that stigma, and then you're adding more to it.
Adding on to it.
Right? You're not helping me, you're actually pushing me, and because you're trying to sell me something else.
I was genuinely surprised and also saddened when I heard this from him during a conversation because as hearing care professionals, it's one of our core responsibilities to destigmatize wearing hearing aids and give you the confidence. Because if the very core people of the hearing care niche use the fear of judgment and stigma to upsell, how will someone ever feel confident wearing hearing aids?
People start selling up. Before even understanding my problem, I realized that they started selling. And that was one of the reasons why, wait a second, this is so pretty expensive devices and, and they try to scare you. It's not very welcoming.
Yeah.
It's not very welcoming. I don't feel that it's run as a very professional way. There's some guy sitting on the front and doesn't know much information, not giving the right information, or they have opened so many shops around that there's only one person who could be roaming around, and they'll ask you to come later, and that's not readily available, which is not the case here. I think that definitely helped. I've been to places apparently to walk around, and they did not even know what models they have, and nothing was on display. There's nothing there. It's just that it looks like there were just shops everywhere, and with no real pieces to actually touch and feel the device. But when I came here, the whole experience and the moment the demo piece actually did a wonderful job explaining me, answering all my questions, and me wearing the device and then walking out for the trial purposes.
Hearing aid users only get the real benefit of hearing aids when they feel comfortable, confident, and not judged for wearing one. And this is something we at Synva understand really well.
The whole setup, I think the environment is really nice. I think Akriti, as an artist, she did a fantabulous job answering every question of mine, listening to me very patiently, giving me, more importantly, I think what changed is she did the test, she configured a demo piece, and And then we had a conversation in different environments, in a silent room, back on the street, and that completely changed. And I think that's where I sold out. I said, yeah, this is what I wanted. And then she explained about different process, different devices, how it works, what it needs. And it was really nice. And one thing I really, really liked about it is, though I wanted to go for a higher models, I think what I really like about you guys is you've been very honest. So, hey, you can take this, but you actually don't need this. You can actually, this is okay for you. What I really liked is you did not try to upsell me anything which is not required. You exactly told me what I need, what is the best suited device, and then it made me, let me make my decision. It's just I did that, and then of course, and that really I liked it. I think you guys did a fantastic job in trying to explain me different, putting everything, all the devices to see which one is comfortable, and then suggested me the right device. And I'm super happy that I am here. I think you should keep that up. I mean, what I really like is the very honest opinion, and as a professional advice, whatever you could, you've done the job, and decision was mine. So thank you.
When I heard all this from him, it reminded me of exactly why Synva was built in the first place and why we show up every single day.
Well, I'm so glad that the mission that we work for, I keep telling in all my videos that I believe in giving unbiased recommendations without, actually upselling like you see outside, and fear mongering, especially because people say कि आप नहीं पहनोगे तो आपको hearing loss बढ़ जाएगा, and selling it that way. I don't believe in that. I have trained everybody over here. Yeah, this is not the way we work, and to see it actually work on people is something that gives me the most amount of satisfaction.
Absolutely, and I would vouch that whatever you're saying is 100% right. Especially when I asked, do I need it for 2 years? I was told, no, you don't need it until 2 years. Your second year is absolutely fine. You really don't. You could have simply told me that as well. Configure it to the year, right year, which actually not necessary, but I think Akarat did a fantastic job. She said, no, you don't really need it. You can wear it, but I don't believe that you really need it today. So we can defer the decision later. If at all situations come, we will revisit later. But for now, this is more than enough.
Super.
It's been like three days in my work days have been recommended to so many people that, hey, this is a place. In fact, I just gave a lead to you guys saying that, hey, this people, I said, this is a very professionally managed way, especially the way you guys manage the environment, appointments, follow it up. Post-sale also, I've seen a guy calling me up, asking if everything is okay, you're feeling any discomfort. That was really nice.
Destigmatization doesn't happen only by people. The environment in which the hearing journey takes place also plays a huge role. Because when you walk into most hearing aid places today, it feels like a clinic. And subconsciously, a clinic makes you feel something is wrong with you.
There are many people out there who, think about addressing their issue, but don't. You did come back. So what made you come back? And what would you tell those people who do not take a step forward in this journey?
I would only say, folks, don't feel shy. There's no social stigma around this. I just delayed it for years, and in spite of walking in here, still took me 6 months. And I regret that probably I should have taken those. I should have sat down here, waited for the audiologist to come and get it done and, take the decision. I think don't need to feel stick. But there's nothing. You can, if you say I'm wearing today, you can hardly barely say, unless I tell you, no one would even know what I'm wearing today. So don't feel shy. If you have a problem, just come over. Once you take a demo, when you get the test done and the moment you wear it, trust me, you will change your decision and you would go for that right then and there. And irrespective of what age you are, I think one of the factors is that we typically don't do it in an early stage. This is just like, I realize this is just like specs, right? People are wearing specs. This is just eye and ear. That's no difference. I don't know why myself took years to make the decision. But I'm happy I made it.
And that's why at Synva, we don't see people as patients. We see them as someone who's here to upgrade their lifestyle. Because destigmatization doesn't start with a conversation. It starts with the environment you walk in. And that is the only way real change happens.
After wearing the device, it's literally invisible. I should have taken this decision years ago. I'm happy. My family is very happy. Especially they're very happy. This is life-changing experience.
That is the change we are working towards, one person at a time. Now, if you are ready to take the first step, The consultation link is in the description. And if you're not ready yet, that's completely okay. Subscribe, keep watching, keep learning. We'll be here. Like this video if Mahinder Ji's story resonated with you even a little bit. It'll help someone else find who needs to hear this. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.